Hi, this is Graham Helfrich, Technical Advisor Manager for the Engineering Software here at IHS Markit. Welcome to the weekly Did You Know episode, where we learn how to do something of value that you probably didn't know about your IHS Markit engineering software. There are a lot of different ways to estimate the volume of our hydrocarbons in the ground, what our drainage area is, what our EUR is going to be, and what our recovery factor will be for a well. So today we're going to take some of the most tried and tested methods and merge them together. The benefit of this is that you're going to be able to produce a single original fluids in place estimate, a single drainage area, a single EUR, and a single recovery factor. Let's check it out. So volumetrics, method one. A volumetric analysis is one of the principal techniques to estimate the original fluids in place. It's typically done before production starts, and it uses core data, log data, and geological maps. The inputs are petrophysical estimates of things like net pay, porosity, our initial pressure, our drainage area, etc. The results are an estimate of our original gas or original oil in place. Technique number two is our static material balance. So this is another principal technique of estimating original fluids in place. The inputs are static shut-in pressures at various intervals along the well's production life. The results are original gas or original oil in place. Now these estimates of fluids in place are typically considered more reliable than a volumetrics technique because material balance analysis is using actual well performance data, while volumetrics is using interpretations of a map to estimate the drainage area. And finally, we have decline analysis, and this is using production volumes, and the output is the EUR, or the forecast. So for this, you can use either monthly or daily production volumes. But here's the problem. These three methods, they can conflict with each other. In fact, if we look at the different inputs and outputs, we see, volumetrics and material balance, well, they both give us original gas in place or fluids in place. Which one is right? And then DCA gives us EUR. So how are we supposed to get a single volume, a single drainage area, a single recovery factor? Well, I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you exactly how you can combine all these techniques together to create single outputs. Let's check it out. So I'm using the Harmony Enterprise software, and we're going to start with doing our volumetrics analysis. So like I said, some of the input requirements are things like your initial pressure, your net pay, your saturation. Now I'm going to take a guess using a geology map I have that the drainage area for this well is 35 acres. So what that does is it lets me estimate an original gas in place of about 2.1 BCF. If we wanted to take a guess at a recovery factor, this is a conventional vertical gas well, I could put 90%, and that is going to give us a EUR. Great. Now, what about if we have production data? Well, luckily I do have some production history for this well, about 2 years of gas volumes. So why don't we go ahead and apply a decline analysis. Okay, so there's a decline. Now in this case, my EUR from the decline says 2.5 BCF. Okay, so let's think about this. Our volumetrics says we have an OGIP of 2, but our decline says we're going to recover 2.5. So how can we get more out of the ground than what we have in the ground? I kind of want to calculate a recovery factor, so I don't want to pull my calculator out. Well, guess what? All you need to do is grab this decline and drag it into your volumetrics analysis. Okay, we're starting to merge these together already. So again, here's our OGIP from Volumetrics, our EUR from decline, and it's calculating a recovery factor of over 100%. Well, that's impossible, right? We can't produce more than we have in the ground. So the question as an engineer is, do I either increase the original gas in place somehow from volumetrics, increasing your net pay, your area, your porosity, or do you decrease your EUR from the decline, right? There's honestly not one right answer. It could be either of those solutions. So what else is in our toolbox? Well, when I go and look at the history for this well, these are some static buildups or some shut-ins during the well's life. So that means we can do a static material balance analysis. Okay, so these are our shut-in pressure points through the cume of the well, and we'll just add a material balance analysis. It does a fit through the data, and this is pointing to an original gas in place of about 2.6 BCF. Again, this method for original gas in place is typically more reliable than just volumetrics, again, because we're using the well performance here. So now I've got two different original gas in place. One, I've got my volumetric estimate of 2 BCF, and I have my static material balance estimate of 2.6 BCF higher. So again, I want to merge these together to try to get towards one answer, right? Complementary techniques. So back on my volumetric inputs, we see my original guess of a drainage area was 35 acres. But the resulting gas in place seems to be lower than my more reliable material balance estimate. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to drag material balance into my total analysis, let go. Let's see what happened. Well, doing that, we're going to take that reliable estimate of gas in place from material balance, and that's going to drive up our estimate of our drainage area to 44 acres. Okay, so now we have a single original gas in place estimate, a single drainage area. And what we're also seeing is that taking the EUR from our decline analysis, comparing it against our more reliable original gas in place, we're now getting a recovery factor of 95%, which is what we're going to expect for this conventional gas well. Just a quick thing for the static material balance analysis is this is most reliable when you're in boundary dominated flow. So just like using the flow material balance technique with RTA, our estimates of a fluid volume is going to be a minimum or a contacted volume if we're still in transient flow. But in this example, we have a conventional well that's in boundary dominated flow. So now we have a single original fluids in place, we have an EUR, we have a single recovery factor, and we have a single drainage area. So we're using these techniques in a complementary way, also providing reliability. So what does this mean for you? Well, like I just showed you, we're able to combine these techniques to produce a single set of results. Instead of having confusing or multiple results from different techniques, we can use them together, just like we did here. What this also means is you're able to actually catch overestimates of reserves or underestimates of reserves. We saw how we had that impossible recovery factor over 100%, but using all the techniques together, we're able to get a more correct answer. And that's it. Thanks for watching. For any questions, please be sure to contact me and subscribe to be notified of next week's Did You Know episode.